Welcome to
Welcome
Vendor
to Vendor
Corner.
Corner.
Yay!
Welcome to our second episode of Vendor Corner, everybody. We are here with Mr. Noe Villalta tonight and my bestie, Peter Marks. Welcome, everybody. So I'd like to start this podcast with something that came to me right before we started, and it's, what kind of world do you want to live in? I think a lot of people contemplate what their dreams are, contemplate a life purpose, where do they belong, and what should they do. And some people also consider maybe the world is beyond change. They're just letting things happen, or they're going through belief systems or fears, or, you know, the state of where the world is going, or maybe jaded even, where they believe that they can't really do anything, so they'll just focus, or maybe they've got a lot going on, so they're focusing on just getting by and surviving. But some people, like Noe, are here to do something more or less like Gandhi had said. If you want to be the change, if you want to be the change, if you want, be what you want to see in the world, be the change that you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
So we have a positive person here who's ready to make a big impact. He owns Ola Omni Management. And Noe, I'm super excited for you to start sharing with us who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
You're welcome. So, Peter, would you like to start, or am I going to start, my love? And hello, Denise. Welcome, sweetheart.
I did want to. Did you want me to give a little tidbits about what's going on astrologically, dear?
I always want you to give tidbits, Peter. It's happy full moon in Cancer, everybody.
Oh,
also,
yes.
We are 2 days away from a national holiday. It is Peter Mark's birthday. I just want everyone to know so that they can adequately send him gifts and presents and well wishes for his birthday.
Now, the only thing I'm looking for is a mansion, a Learjet, and a Rolls Royce. Nothing elaborate.
Nothing elaborate at all. I mean, that whole stuff, I mean, very, very small. No problem.
And believe it or not, I'm going to say this from the heart. The greatest gift that I have for this year is being on with the two of you and producing the show and sharing our love and our energy and our positive thinking.
I love that. Beautiful. I'm so glad that we can all be together. And Peter, I really sincerely do hope that you have a really amazing birthday. I mean, obviously we won't just celebrate it on here. We'll celebrate on the day of, but I want you to realize or know, you know, you're an incredibly special person who does so much for so many people, and we all love you very much. So,
well, I love you. I love everybody that comes on here. I did want to say we are finally going towards most of the planets coming out of retrograde. Now,
January 25th, we have this big alignment. Time to manifest, babies. Time to manifest.
Time to manifest. And the great thing that's going to be happening, and it's going to be happening, let me see here. The North Node, the transiting North Node, has been in the sign of Aries and Libra now for a while.
That's right.
Focusing in on self-identity and relationship, and it will be transiting.
Into
it will
Pisces.
be changing. It looks like on here February 1st, and it will be going into Pisces and Virgo. And what that means is we are going to be going to higher levels of awareness and consciousness. And it's going to be, if you have any addictions, dealing with food, alcohol, drugs, whatever your addiction may be, if it is at that particular time triggered, or if you feel that you want to indulge, this is going to be a time for us to really work on our self-improvement, ameliorating ourselves, and really coming together collectively. And a lot of people that I work with say, why do you always talk about giving up the I and working with we? The reason I do that is we are one with God. No matter what your religion or your spiritual faith is, we are one with God. So I'm looking forward to the changes, and all the planets will be going primarily, except for Mars, direct. What does that mean? It's going to be a wonderful time, especially on this podcast. We are going to have the best time of our lives working with the public. So that's what it means. I'm going to turn the reins over to Teresa and go for it, honey.
Well, I'm actually going to turn it right back over to Noe, because my first question.
Go for it.
Here we go.
So I always have the same questions, but I put them in different order, and there's always more to learn in between those questions. So the first thing is, I say the question, who are you? And, obviously you'll answer that question, but I want to know a little bit more than your name or what you do. I want to know, like, what do you want people to know about you? So as you're describing to us who you are, I'd also like to know, what do you want people to know about you?
Good question.
So we start. Well, I'm Noe Villalta. So I am. Let's see. Let's just start with my age. I'm 29 years old. I'm a very young age entrepreneur that is on a path to trying to either better the world, show businesses and even homeowners a lot of different avenues that can benefit them and actually change their life. Um, I do a lot of website design. I do also tap into a lot of other industries that I've had experience in, but that's mostly where I'm at right now. I'm bilingual as well. That's a good key fact to have. I speak Spanish and English. My mother's a a full Hispanic, I should say, immigrant, comes from this country that I'm doing a lot of my hardworking ethic comes from her, from her growing up being around her, and how she worked very hard, to support me and be the person she is, and that's what made me today who I am. So big shout outs to her, so um yeah, and then it's mostly, like I'm here to definitely, bring positivity and, change people's perspective of, business, or, sleazy sales reps or sleazy business owners that, don't do right. I want to definitely do right. I'm on a path of, following God as well, as we were talking about. So definitely are trying to stick by the faith and do everything right. Be a good person, good hearted, genuine person, and lead people to the right direction. That all the experiences I've been through at such a young age, but I started very young as well, so it has given me some experience.
I love it. Well, there's a couple of things that you forgot to mention, and I love to bring to the light the pieces of modesty that people leave unturned. I'm good at that. So you have, when I was speaking to you about your business, a couple of different things that you had mentioned to me piqued my interest. One is that you started out with this kind of property management, we'll say company.
Oh, yes.
And that you were very inspired when you were working for them, and you were doing a lot of observation. I think by nature you tend to be a kind of quiet person, and you were like, there's things that I think a business needs. It needs property management. It needs good management skills in general. It needs the right people to be in the right positions, doing the right job. And then you started branching off, and you said, I was really inspired because you see so many physical businesses going through a lot of work and sometimes not being recognized for that work or not making all the traction that they want to. And that was the thing that inspired you to start building websites to begin with. And I have to say, I've seen multiple examples of your work, and it was really impressive to me. I mean, I'm picky. I'm very, very picky. I'll be the first person to let everyone knows that. And Peter knows that best of all. Yes. They're fluid and they have motion to them. It's almost like watching art, but art is the website. They have beautiful pictures. The wording is really well done. And I was like, I as soon as I started looking at the examples that you had sent over to me, I was like, wow, this is really good. This is like what I've been looking for. Like, this is great. Everybody should have this. And there's this type of you zero in and you're very consistent in what you do, like straight to the point, no fluff, but at the same time, really beautiful and fluid. And I really appreciated the balance between functionality and beauty or creativity. And then you layer on top of that you do a water filtration, and you were like, my own path in life includes being a good person, being a spiritual person, and that I always want to bring source into my life and live in a good way. And I believe that that's being a good steward to the planet. I believe that's eating good food and being a good father and being a good partner and being a good person, being a solid member of the community, and really listening to what business owners are wanting and needing, and not playing any games and bringing these things to the table. So you jumped on the bandwagon, which I think in a very altruistic and serious way, to say, what's the vision for the future? Solar, clean water, healthy food, property management, website design. And the cool thing is that you keep expanding. You're not a limited person. You work very hard. You have all these different avenues, and you've been able to bring them under one roof and manage it really, really well. Especially, I don't want to say especially considering your age, but you're very young and you have had a lot of experience. And the way that your expertise, I feel like your expertise non-verbally comes through everything you create and do. And that's my
Man,
takeaway
thank you.
on what I see. So
Oh, you
now
did a
that
better
I've
job than me.
now that I've told
They'd be
everybody
like,
about
great.
it, you can weigh in if you want to.
No, no, definitely, and that you explained it way better. Like I was telling Teresa and Pete, this is I'm fairly new to actually speaking out in public, so thank you for the help on that, and the boost up, because this is fairly new to me. But yeah, that definitely explains it all. That's where the name came from with me. Ola Omni Management. Omni means all universal. That's where the Omni. I'm really trying to really brand that name, and then management. I'm just managing it all. Like, and I never want to portray and tell people, hey, I'm like an expert at solar, I'm an expert at water filtration, I'm an expert website designer. But I do take all my work serious, and I can lead you in the right direction to everything under one roof, because we have a great team. The websites and stuff, personally, I've done myself. That is something that I enjoy doing, and that's something that getting creative in that sense. I love doing that. So, but everything else, we have a great team of installers with the solar and with the water filtration that take it very serious as I do. So it's awesome.
I also see a lot of property around you. I don't know if it's going to be now, but you're going to be buying property.
Yeah. Oh, that's a mission too. That's my land and property.
You're going to be buying land and property, and I see you renting some of the property out, and I see you gaining financial remuneration through the property. They're also telling me, guys are also saying, you get bored with one thing. You've got to do a lot of different things.
Oh
Mm-hmm,
man, you hit the
mm-hmm.
nail right there, man. Yeah, I always I gotta stay different and unique. Like, and definitely running my mind all the time, and that's something that I enjoy. Even like when I first started, my cooking world when I was 14 years old, as young as that, in the restaurant industry, multitasking has always been a key thing that I've done great and always achieved that, because it's something I actually enjoy doing. People like, oh, how you do 20 things at once? I'm like, oh, this is what I live for. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
this is what I love doing. Yeah.
Denise says, I was a wreck on the first podcast with Teresa, but Denise did great. You did beautiful, sweetheart. And Val's like, you did very well. You're a natural. I was like, I agree. So we have a live chat. People who are watching can live, ask questions or weigh in as they're watching, so we can ask them to you as well.
That's awesome.
So aside from, how did you get started? I want to know the why you got started. Why did websites appeal to you? Why did you think they were important? I know the story. I mean, I just, summarized it, but like, why websites? Why not something else?
Mm.
Because it's definitely for me, like I said, the creativity sense of it. It's an art, like you said, like just, creating that, sitting there, and, illustrations, animations, pop-ups, like all everything that comes with website building just, attracted me. And then once I started getting into, becoming a business owner, owning my own business, I just knew the importance of having a website, and having SEO done to you, like you're getting local ranking, for example, like, in keywords, and, Google ranking, how important all those things are. So, I definitely started to tap into what I could do even for my own business, so I could eventually, help out other businesses and see what they need to be doing, so to actually rank and, progress and grow their business and get known. Because, as at the end of the day, I've been through the ringer just like them. So why not help out?
I love that. It's true. Peter, any questions before I continue?
I just wanted to find out. I speak with spirit guides also, and the spirit guides are asking me if you are going to, as your business grows, are you going to help the minorities? Are you going to help minority groups in order to educate, in order to help assist them on becoming entrepreneurs, and you being an example not only for minorities but for the world? They're hoping that you will help the less fortunate people that don't necessarily have your abilities.
Yeah, definitely a goal of mine. And just I've been around, bad neighborhoods, and grew up around them when I was younger, so I've definitely seen a lot of things, and people take wrong paths in life. That thankfully, I did it, and I made decisions to keep working and, working hard. But, that is what, that is definitely a goal of mine, just, help the people that are lost, I should say,
Yes.
without faith, without God in their life, or whatever they even want to believe in. But anything besides just leading down the wrong path, especially the youth. The youth is so flooded with mainstream media and all this BS, that I should say, is going around in this world, and it's horrible, like, and I definitely want to make a change to it, because there still is hope, and if and me, like, personally, myself, I didn't have a father figure, like, so it was only my mother, a single mother, like, so everything I had to teach myself, and that a man should, or a father should. But
Right.
hopefully I could give that to some other kid that is in the same situation, or some other man that's lost somewhere, like, just whatever I could do to help. But it's all to God, what he could guide me. That's what I pray with, to see whatever he follows. you know
Hmm. I love it.
Wonderful.
It makes me so happy. Like, and all of our life experience, and I think this is somewhat of what I was trying to say in the beginning, is like, we all have a life, we all have a story, experiences that we've gone to, and we can either decide to be inspired in our own stories and help other people, or we get kind of shriveled up. There's this poem from Oriah Mountain Dreamer called The Invitation, and it's like,
Mm.
are you, what word, there is some words in the poem that I like that say, are you, um, will you be able to, like, face hardship with me and not shrink back? And will you be able to, have somebody hurt you or betray you and not shrivel up inside? Will you be able to sit in your own company and like the company that you keep? And there's these very powerful lines in this poem. Like, I'm getting chills just talking about it. But it's like, at the end of the day, do we like who we are? And we are all in this world together, and
Mm.
we can choose to pretend that we're only right here and have this narrow-minded vision that only lands on surviving for ourselves and taking care of ourselves and whatever's going on in the life of us. Or we can sit up and have a broader view and understand that we are all interconnected. There's no way there we can live in a mindset that we're alone, but there's no we are never alone. We're in omnipotent energy that is all interconnected with each other, belonging and plugging into, and the expression of the same source. And as soon as we own that, we could start following our truth, not for how to save people, but how to inspire people. Not for doing the work that they need to do for themselves, but to be a path, to be a leader, to be an example, to be a guide, to be a real friend. And I think being a good friend is one of the best things that we can be to each other in this world, because it's already enough. There's enough out there. And when you're just a good person, you will sometimes meet wonderful people, and your goodness will be a magnet to goodness, and then sometimes your goodness will be a magnet to people that have a desire to exploit your goodness. But don't stop being good anyway. Let other people's actions be a reflection of them, and your actions be a reflection of you. So the fact that you were raised in these situations and you kept yourself true, authentic, zoned in, knowing that you had a vision to take care of your family and to have a good, comfortable life, and then turn around and give back. It's a really beautiful sentiment. It's straight out of your heart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So my next question is, what is the value of having a good website for your business?
Good question.
Oh,
Very
so
good question.
A loaded question, I know.
yeah, no. I mean, there's a lot of value definitely into it. The biggest value is just, the website's going to represent who you are. The website's going to show the world who you are and what you. Well, that was Alexa. But yeah, the website's going to show exactly what you represent, your brand, your business. What you want to show to the world pretty much. And then on top of that, for business wise, ranking wise, like I said before, like SEO, websites are important because that's how you get traffic. You could, build forms onto your website, and actually, have people fill out forms. And then that's how you start tracking, your leads. You start tracking people that are visiting your website. Google has a lot of programs like analytics and stuff that, brings, value to having the website, because then you could track even visitors or people that click on your link or click on your website. So, definitely having a website is a powerful tool because, that's just your footprint into the digital market, into the digital, atmosphere. Because if you don't have a website, then, people really are going to say, who are you? You can have social media. Yeah. But, if you're not having a home pretty much for those people that are those followers to go and, either buy your product or see your product or see your information about who you are, or, being able to contact you directly or send you an email directly, then there's no really point of having a business too much for say digitally, with just social media. So yeah.
Right.
Who are
I
some
feel
of
like,
you,
oh,
oh,
sorry, go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
who are some of your heroes or role models that you have decided to model yourself after in your life?
Um, there's a
Do you
lot of
have any?
influencers. I mean, yeah, I've like Grant Cardone, Russell Bronson. The list goes on. Honestly, there's a lot of people that I've just gained knowledge off of just from, reading their books or, watching their videos. I've done so much courses, like I'm a big believer knowledge is key, like knowledge, that is what, is going to make you grow as a person spiritually, as mentally, like physically, like whatever the case may be. You need knowledge, you need,
Yeah,
guidance and knowledge. So that's I definitely have, those are the top two right now, just because they're so successful, and actually Russell Bronson was one of the first when I first opened my business, like, like that I started reading about that. He's the one that, it's called some like funnel hacking, like that. um
yes,
how to build funnels and like what the importance of funnels. The same thing like with websites, like, how important it is. He truly inspired me because, it's pretty much like he started, his story was crazy because he started as, a kid that had a vision, with postcards that were getting mailed to his parents' house, and he's like, wow, like how does this happen? So I'm gonna hack this and try to figure out how this even works and how this is important, and built a multi-million-dollar company out of that, building funnels because he was so in love with it. Just the idea of postcards and people sending out like mail informations and coupons and like things like that to his house, that he was like, how can I do this digitally? Once the computer started coming out, and he was one of the pioneers, one of the first people that started doing with funnels. So yeah,
Wow.
that was a good inspiration I had. And and then I'm sure people know Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is just he actually, to prove his methods, he literally went ghost, like changed his name, shaved his hair, and had $100. And he's like, I could make this $100 into $1 million, and he did it on video press. And I was like, that's such inspiration, So it's like, yeah, great people, man. But yeah, it's as the list goes on. But that's definitely, I have a few of them that I want to keep following. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to build my own legacy, my own brand, so that's my
Absolutely.
goal too.
Mhm.
Well, as far as I can tell, and what I'm hearing, you're there. A lot of people today ask, how did you achieve your goals? How did you get to where you are? Did you actually create a paradigm or a vision in your mind when you were younger of what you wanted to create and the steps that you needed to get there? Because most successful people that I know have said to me, I saw it, I created it, and I visualized it.
To be honest, no. To be honest,
No?
I started, yeah, no, to be honest, as a very young age, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but
Okay.
I was telling Teresa, I was a chef for a little while, I was in the cooking scene. I started, I was, burning my face in 400 degrees for a while. So, like
Yeah.
but I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. So yeah, eventually there was a point that, I sat down and I'm like, okay, well, what are key skills I have? What are things I enjoy doing? And that's what I'm mostly focused on, and what, you know, is something I enjoy doing, because every career path, every promotion I've gotten, and then I went to the office scene. I did that as well after, and I got promoted within a year. Every job I've done, I've taken so serious, and actually excelled at and did great at, because, I knew I was good at doing something. And that's, like mostly managing, and that's where the name management came in, allowing me management, because I'm like, every management position I've had, I did great at. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed helping people, showing them, guiding them, how to do the job, or, training them properly. And, like I said, the multitasking, with you 20,000 things at once, being a chef, and, making sure things don't burn, and having the proper degrees and the proper recipe and every key ingredient inside of it. Like I enjoyed that too. So it's like, what can I do, to actually start, something off as a company? And I had a network of people, that I knew, between vendors too, that like plumbers, construction workers, and I
Hmm.
just started pitching these ideas. A lot of people thought I was crazy, but it's
Thank God you
it's
didn't
all work.
listen to them.
I
For
didn't
real.
listen to that, man. Yeah, no, it's
That's
just
right.
and people to this day still like, how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna make this like something big, like, and it's gonna be tough. Don't get me wrong, like, because a lot of skepticism, and a lot of people are gonna be skeptical. But at the end of the day, what I'm gonna also say is, like, I'm not gonna tell you I'm an expert, in everything, but it's, I
Hmm.
trust my word and my team that I have, that to get these tasks done, and the one thing, the few things I do enjoy doing, which is like the website designing, and, the marketing, and talking and managing all this, that's something that just comes natural with me, so
Wow.
He
yeah.
forgot to tell you, Peter, that he's a
Okay.
wordsmith, and I'm gonna enjoy embarrassing him right now, because we have a show February 7th coming up. It's called Feast for the Soul, and part of the experience is that we created a magazine. And the magazine is called Vendor Corner, and the podcast and the magazine are going hand in hand. And I received, Noe's article for us to print up in the magazine, and I read through it, and the picture and the words are so sharp. And I feel like you can just know so much about somebody by the way they execute something like what I asked him to do for the magazine. And I just want to share that now. And I'm sure his face will turn red, and it's fine. But I feel like you will understand where I'm coming from once you all hear this. Okay. So it says, conscious, clean, and creative, the vision of Ola Omni Management. At the heart of every great idea is a purpose. And for Noe Valletta, founder of Ola Omni Management, that purpose is simple: empower individuals and businesses to grow sustainably, live mindfully, and create with passion. With a unique blend of offerings, solar energy solutions, rain, H2Os, clean water systems, and custom website design, Ola Omni Management is on a mission to make conscious living and creative expression accessible to all. The concept behind Conscious, Clean, and Creative is more than just a catchy tagline. It's a lifestyle philosophy. By promoting renewable energy, clean water, and digital creativity, Noe is helping people improve not only their homes and businesses, but also their connection to a better future. Whether it's reducing energy costs, ensuring pure drinking water, or enhancing a brand's online presence, Ola Omni Management is building solutions that make sense for today's world and tomorrow's vision. In this feature, you'll get an inside look at an innovative services offered by Ola Omni, the passion driving these initiatives, and how Noe plans to help artists, vendors, and small business owners thrive through sustainable solutions and creative empowerment. Join us as we explore how Ola Omni Management is turning mindful ideas into real-world impact, because true success starts with conscious choices. Boom! Mic drop.
That's great. Yeah, wow.
You might be professional or something, okay?
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Really nice. I read that, and then he sent me this beautiful picture of him in a suit. It's the one that I shared tonight. I was like, oh, you shared this in here. All right.
Yeah. That's the LinkedIn one, so you gotta check out my LinkedIn for that.
Denise says that's wonderful. And she also says, Noe, can you stop them from hacking me? Meaning the technology people. Maybe that's his next, leaf of his business is online security protection. I mean, in the article too.
I definitely got some resources for that, so we can get with you, Denise.
So now we'll just add cyber protection onto it. There's
right. I do have home security. That's part of it, but I just didn't want to add that because it's going to get people to like, what is this guy? Who is this guy?
Well, you know what you took, and one of the things you said to me, and we bonded over this, was I take things that impact my own life. And I have children, I have a family. I want my family to have these options. These options were not given to me when I was younger. They came to me, or I went out after them when I was younger. And, as I get older, I want to create a solid, comfortable life for myself and for my family. And then it goes past that. It goes to the community. I recognize the value of eating good, of getting a good night's rest, of, having something, spiritually to believe in, of being a good father, of having clean water to drink, of using sustainable power for the environment, our relationship with nature. All these things are very important. And a lot of times what people will do is they act like that's not a part of business, or that's not a part of residential living. But from my vantage point, we all have this in common. So why are we not applying it to vision? I mean, why are we not applying it to businesses? And I was like, this guy has vision. Go King, go. Go ahead, blow off. So then he continues to talk about it. And he's like, and he talking about water and pHs, and talking about, sink water versus this water. And, what in a business, and thinking about the type of employees that we want, or the life we want to provide for our employees. The biggest thing that business owners are really griping about lately is the lack of the quality employee. But the world that you create around the employee in your business is going to greatly impact your employee retention and how hard are those employees going to work for you. The way you treat people is what you're going to get back out of them. So the fact that he was so conscientious and thinking about all these things, the reason why, aside from his boredom, that he's interested in all these things and can keep up on them, he's a very high functioning, intelligent person who's willing to put the work ethic in and still balance that with life. And that speaks to me because I have 9,000 things always going on. And, when you have a lot of energy and a lot of love to give, you just want to keep going out there, especially when you care about the community and the world that you live in.
Yeah. Do you see yourself being just strictly in the United States, or do you want to go globally? And where do you see website designing? What is the future of website designing? Do you know?
The future, I mean, it could go so many different ways, especially with AI getting implemented nowadays. Website design can, you know, lose its value because of, people not actually doing so much of the manual work that goes with it. But, you know, either way, you'll be able to, I feel like, still tell a difference. But, it's something that's still gonna always be relevant and important, definitely. But it all depends on the business and the business owner, what they prefer, like just, some half done thing or actually professionally done website designs, but I definitely see myself going globally. But there is so much competition with website
Yeah.
designing and, so it's like, is it going to go as big? Who knows, with just my name, that's depending, but that's why I have so much different avenues, with solar, with, we cover like pretty much 45 states with solar, so that's one way I
Amazing.
can go around, yeah, around the states, so, with the, with the facility management and janitorial services. We do Florida as well, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. So we're in these facility management companies as well. And we're under them, so we're getting work from them. So it definitely eventually, I have a big plan, to go and spread, it's just depending in what avenue. And that's why I have so much open, so much of them, because it's like something is gonna, reach the world like I want it to. So either way, come back to me and show you my values of what I want and how I want to help people. Like eventually, like even with the water filtration, like hopefully I get enough installs to go to all these countries and install
Absolutely.
free water filtration systems to help people that need the water. That really, so that's really ideas. And I want to always, and with the solar, like save energy costs, and, the amount of fossil fuels we use and, the foreign, countries we have to exchange for these fossil fuels that is getting into the government, let's get deep into it. But, you know, um, I know that eventually solar is gonna be a thing that's, and that's what I try to tell homeowners. It's like, take advantage of it now once we have so much incentives, once the government's funding it so much, because eventually people aren't gonna know that California already mandated it. So California
Yeah.
by 2040 are gonna, they're mandating solar. So a lot of states are gonna follow that because they see the amount of energy getting put out and the amount of energy we're wasting. So, and then on top of that, bricks farming in other countries. So now we have that I worry about, the US dollar, what's going to be the value of it, like all these little things, that, is going to force us to be our own economy, so, and solar is going to be a big picture of that. So I'm like, take advantage of it now, guys. Don't think I'm just crazy because, you see the things going on, like
It's so
it's
true.
all,
My
yeah.
uncle, my aunt and uncle were just here from Texas, and we got into this very philosophical conversation because them living in Texas, they have a front row seat to the oil drilling, and they
Yes.
said, they're drilling the oil, but everything around it is still green. And you think about these battery powered things, especially for a lithium battery, they're strip mining, and anything
Yes.
that is being strip mined, it can't live. There is no life where they're like mining for this lithium to be able to create something. There's nothing there's green. So we on one hand we create something sustainable, but we harm the earth to such a big extent to have the sustainability, which is not sustainable. And then the other part of it is he was saying, fracking with gas, the gas is in a pocket and we have to mine that gas out of the pocket, but then we can't control where the gas goes because it's part of the planet. And if there's a shift in a tectonic plate, or there is suddenly a gas leak that's somewhere, it's organic. We believe we have control, but we don't really have control. So he was saying how, with the oil, that everyone thinks people from Texas are trying to be antiquated or stick to the old way of doing things, or oil is just the way because that's, people just want to put money in their pockets. He goes, but the things are still green with oil, and they're drilling for oil in a place where the oil is plentiful and it's not having a negative effect. And he goes, you think about wind power. How do we get all the things to the wind power? He's like, you still need oil to some extent to do the wind thing. He's like, they're talking about forcing cars on us that are going to be all battery powered. He goes, think about it. That energy, if we get into a car accident, when we have all these traditional style car parts, the traditional style car parts are easier to fix, easier to replace, easier to manage. But when we have that lithium, it burns hotter and the fire burns clear. And even when you have a fire department go there to put it out, a lot of times what happens is they go there, they realize it's part of a battery, the temperature is hotter, it could have so many other adverse effects. And the way that people drive so recklessly now, irregardless of the state that we live in, I see it a lot in New York. They see it in Texas. I have friends in Vegas that see it in Vegas. People, I feel like it would be so beneficial if they were conscious, mindful of how they impacted each other, and took these things into consideration. Because as much as it's important to make steps forward to progress and advance, how we do it, and what we shun, what we let go of. Like, before you just say rah rah and get on a bandwagon to something, look to the back, look to the front, look to the left and the right, and see what else is affected by what that thing is, and then make the decision. And like the conversation we were having was, the Native American tradition was 7 generations. Before they made any decisions, they think about how 7 generations could be affected. So many of the things that we're dealing with now in our society are not things that we created right here and now. They are the byproduct of the past. We are living in the ripple. So what we do today is going to be a contribution to the next ripple. And I feel like it's kind of, maybe we'll call it ignorant, we'll call it arrogant, something like that, to believe that we are not having an impact. Even by no impact, that's still an impact. So, you have a choice to, what impact you're going to make. Why not make it a conscious one and a positive one? And that requires a certain wavelength of thinking and feeling, I believe, in my opinion.
Absolutely. What I'm looking at also is from another point of view. I mean, with solar energy, fossil fuel, with the web, all of this, a lot of lobby groups, the oil and the gas lobby groups, are one of the most powerful groups and entities we have in the society. And I may sound naive, but a lot of them actually control, to a degree, government decisions, where we're heading. We definitely need an alternative to fossil fuel, because if we don't have an alternative to fossil fuel, then we're pretty much, our planet is heading for major drastic changes, including global warming. And we have all of these great things that are happening in our world today, but we can't sustain ourselves if we keep on going in this trajectory, and that scares me. I also found out we have oil reserves enough in the United States to sustain us, but why not? I mean, sooner or later, the oligarchy or the powers, these 1% of our population that control our the United States, even the world, we need changes at the higher level also, because these
Yeah.
are great concepts. And with cars, some people say to me, well, you plug them into the wall, and in some cases it's more expensive than oil. Well, to me, we're running out of oil. We're not running out of oil, but collectively I think we need healthier ways of living. We have to almost go back, if we can, a little to the agrarian society that we started off with. And a lot of people are investing money in oil today. They're investing in solar energy. Solar energy, I am totally, totally open. I see
I
more
love
and more.
solar. I think it's amazing what it can do.
Yeah.
The fact that you can
Absolutely, it's
save so
amazing.
much money. Like, imagine, my mom was pretty strict, but I imagine a lot of people's parents feel this way. You have this house, especially when you become an adult, and the gravity of what being an adult is, hits you.
Yes.
The AC runs, the lights are on. My mother was like, if you're not in that room, turn the light off. You're like, I'm not Rockefeller,
Uh-huh.
do the right thing. And then I have
Uh-huh.
other friends whose parents, they leave every light on in the house, they leave every fan on, the AC. And then my sister and I are sweating on their behalf. I'm like, you're not even in that room. You're not in that room. You're not in that. Oh my God, you're not in any of these rooms. And then they
Yes.
just like leave a TV on, they go to the fridge, they leave something else on. I'm like, oh my God. It's so interesting how differently people can live based on their circumstances. And one of the things that I admire about conscientious, like, people, or people who think about conscientious living, is that not that there will be an end so much, not to say that there is or isn't, but what is our effect? I don't want to think from that lack space that we're going to run out of something, but I want to think about what is the effect that we are having on ourselves. I said at the table the other day too, in 2005, there was this fantastic movie written called The Zeitgeist, and it was from Jack Fresco, and he had a doctorate in 5 or 6 different studies. And one of the points that he mentioned was that in our healthcare then, in 2005, that they spent $250 billion in our medical field, but not for people who lived, for people who passed away, for people who were sick, who were kept sick, and then passed away. 250 billion. And now we're in 2025. And after post-pandemic and whatever's going on now in our new reality. And Elon Musk the other day saying, in 15 years, there's going to be more robot people than people. That is an interesting statement. I'm not giving any kind of credence to it because I don't want to add validity to it in either direction. I'm just saying it's an interesting statement, and there's so much now on the progress of AI. It's like, well, what's this AI doing for us? And there was a woman who made a post that said, I don't want AI to make my website or do my business or take care of my kids. I want AI. And she goes, I don't want it to drive my car. I want it to do my dishes. I want it to vacuum my house. I want it to do the things that I don't want to do so I can do the things I want to do. I don't need AI to do the things I want to do. And it's interesting how we're like, we live in an information age now more than ever before.
Absolutely.
It used to take 100 years to make certain changes. And then, the advent of IBM and the secure job and the gold standard. And that took a lot of time to change through. That was the standard way of living for a long time. And then that rapidly increased. And it used to be 50 years to make a change. And now it's 5 minutes to make a change. The world we know on Monday is an entirely different world by Thursday. And that's not going to slow down unless something happens to slow it down. So in this, go ahead.
Yeah, it's true. Somebody like myself that's going to be turning 70, and
28, don't lie.
Yeah, exactly. But I
Good, man.
looked at it when I was born, and I remember growing up with having more control over my life. And today I turn on the radio and I hear about Elon Musk going to Mars, going to Jupiter, Jeff Bezos wanting to go to Mars and Jupiter. And I say, my God, we're in a race to be in a race. And meanwhile, we have to survive today. And, I chose to come down to New Jersey for the holidays. And I bring this up for a reason. I am in one of the wealthiest communities in the United States. There's mansions surrounding here. And I look at it when I go outside, I said, no, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. What happened to us all collectively, the extended family, the nuclear family, all coming together and living together. And truthfully, the world's going a little too fast for my taste. It really is.
No,
Mm-hmm.
it's
But
advancing very quick. That's crazy. Yeah.
it's very quick. And today, I don't know how you two feel, but most people today have to go out and to buy the gas that's going up and to buy food and to housing. Most people around me are working 2 and 3 jobs. The concepts that we have for, I think, is it hydrogen energy and I mean, these are wonderful and everything, but where are we going? Really,
Right.
where are
Right.
we going with all this?
Right. And they're always, for everything that the American people get to know, there's always so much that we don't get to know. And the
Yeah.
reason I even brought up the Zeitgeist thing with the $250 billion, it's really giving homage over to Noe because he is trying to create something that is innovative. He has
Yes,
the water filter, I'm sorry, the clean water filter to have purified water that's a good pH for the body.
which
When
is
we put good things
wonderful.
in the body, we get good things out of the body. Less people would be sick if we were more conscientious about how we live physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. A lot of the physical things that wind up affecting people are rooted in the emotions and in the intellect and vibrate down to the physical because we don't do life balance well here in America.
No.
We're capitalists, we're always thriving, we're always running. And so, like, even for Noe, he's 29 years old and he's already figured out that life balance is important. And what's more important is that it's not just a thought, but he's integrated it into a lifestyle
This
for
is,
himself. And then he rubs that
yeah,
off on other people.
I think
Like,
he's
that is
amazing. I think you're amazing,
fantastic,
man.
Thank you.
You are
Thank you.
right?
amazing. Yeah, we need
He's come
more
from the
people
future. He's going to tell us how to live.
how to
Yeah, no,
live.
I like to think like like I had my generation was such a great generation because I had the best of both worlds. I seen the advancement of computers, starting to form. I even remember still having my little Game Boy Color. I always
Yeah,
loved technology myself. Like I've always been a big tech freak. But like I got to see that, but I still got to go outside and play with my friends and my BMX bikes, like and go ride around the neighborhood, and actually not sit at home nowadays like everybody does on YouTube and on a tablet and like I got to still live life but also see the progress of technology. So I got in that right in the middle of that generation, that I can do see the both worlds, but also now somehow make an impact because of that. Because it's like I'm still adapting to everything technology that's going around, and I'm like intrigued by it. Like, and I want to find out more about it, but also see like the damage it could do to a lot of things, a lot of social skills, a lot of children, like what it's doing so far already. Not that what it's done, it's doing, it's currently happening, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a scary thing. So it's like that's definitely a goal. Like question you asked me before, Pete, was like, you want to reach globally. Like, yeah, I definitely want to reach globally just for that, to get messages
yes.
around, like, not to abuse it, and not to stand so much by it and live by it, because at the end of the day, you depend on all this technology so much, you're gonna lose the actual skills that you have naturally as a human being, that you can master yourself, like you're gonna depend so much on AI or a computer to tell you, but you could just go out and do it yourself or read a book, like and actually start learning knowledge.
Absolutely, but you're grounded. You're grounded with the solar energy. You're grounded with your website. You're grounded with wanting where you want to go and how you want to live. A lot of people, my friend, are not grounded. I mean, every day I get up here now, I hear, "Well, did you invest in crypto? Are you putting thousands of dollars in Bitcoin crypto? Are you investing in oil?" And I go, "Oh my God, I'm living. I'm living today. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing."
Yeah, live your life. Exactly. Live your life. Don't everything society is it's going moving fast, like you guys said, and it's like, it's impossible for anybody to really catch up and try to do it. Just so at that point, just do your best, live your life, and like make the right choices. That's all I say, like make
No,
the smart choices.
I see you doing something else too. And my spirit guides said this to me. I see you doing something around affordable homes in the future, making homes available for minorities and people from the middle class. I see you doing so many things, but I also see you giving back. And I think that is another part of your development and also your trajectory. I wanted to ask you this question. Are you a take charge person where you need to be in control, not in a negative way? Because the guy just said to me, you need to be in control of your destination and how you work in putting things together. And they're telling me you're also going to be, and this is what they're showing me, you're going to be inventing things and creating things that involve other people, and it's going to become widespread, and it's going to help, not destroy, but help the world. So they're showing me you 5 to 10 years down the road, and you're actually going to be helping people less fortunate. So I see you doing things that are incredible. You're not going to become avaricious. I don't see you being greedy, but I see you really being bringing people together and educating them on how they can have a better life and a safer and a more productive life. So that's what my guides are saying about you.
I'd like to add to that, Peter, because to
Go
me
ahead.
it feels like it's a like a bind. What I'm hearing is binder, something,
Yes.
an agent that can create this party over here, that this party over here, they would never touch, but he's able to speak this language and speak this language, not just English and Spanish. I mean, the group of people, the way that they move, the visions that they have, what they want, and connect these parties together and say, well, I know this person over here who can do what you need over here, and not just zeroing in on one community, but really
Right.
fleshing out the entire community. And something that we were saying before the show, because Peter loves to look at everyone's chart and I love to be right there with him. But, we were saying, well, here's the energy that we feel about you. And although I know Noe fairly well at this point, what I will say is that I feel like the year ahead is all about expansion, is
Yeah.
about taking these tangible things, the things that he's already managed to do, putting even more seeds in the ground, getting stabilized. And then as the collective conscious is going to change this year quite a bit. And I see him being able to move with the flow. They keep re-emphasizing that you're a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. You're a little bit over here, you're a little bit over there. And
Yeah.
because you have these insights for how to be in more places than multiple places at once, that's what makes you such a great co-agent in a lot of ways. So you're like the emulsification. Let's say this party over here is the olive oil and this is the balsamic, and you're the immersion blender. You're the one who brings everything together to make something different out of it. Before, it's just two ingredients. After you're done with it, it's something that's really tasteful, like a dressing. That's the analogy. So
Yeah.
that's what I see. And I know that there's things in his chart that we didn't speak on, and I don't know if he feels like putting his business out there, but I can see, even without seeing his chart, that there's a lot of expansion in his life going forward.
Well, there's expansion plus down the road. I do see a manual or a book. They just said to me he will be writing some type of book, And I also want to say they just said to me he's going to be. I don't know if anybody's heard of George Orwell. George
Mm-hmm.
was yes, he wrote a book. I think it was called 1984, where he was projecting where we're going, and um, I see you channeling. They actually said you're going to be channeling information from a multitude of different dimensions, and you're going to help collectively. You're going to be part of saving this earth. The other thing that I also wanted to mention, and I've been grappling with this, is the guys keep on saying to me, the earth is going to be here much longer than we will be. That's what the
Mm.
guys just said. So we also are opening up our minds and our sphere to going and traveling to Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. I do believe in the future we will be taking trips to these other planets and establishing colonies and homes on these other planets. So that is fascinating to me. But you're well on your way to connecting with people that have a lot of creativity, and I see your name being mentioned in different areas. So my God, you're going to be amazing. You already are.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely. I
definitely.
keep sorry, go ahead, Noe.
No, definitely. I was just saying, definitely is my goal, and it's just to help, get on that path of, being righteous, as they say, you know.
I
Yes.
keep thinking back, Peter, to we did that podcast where we say it's already done. Mindset is everything. It's
And Lord,
already done. And
well,
as we
go ahead.
these new changes have been coming up since fall, the conversations, the vibration of the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is just kind of remind that point, is that mindset is everything. So by inviting in the perception, source has already done everything for us. We're just catching up. It's so
Well,
easy when
yes.
there's information overload to want to give our attention to it and identify with the external. But I love using the mantra, now is next, meaning
Now
that
is
in this
next.
now moment, that
Yeah.
in this now moment, I could see where I was a second ago. I can decide where I want to be a second later. Right here in this now moment, being in the present, I stand in the past, the present, and the future all simultaneously. And it's up to me to decide what energy comes with me as I step forward. So it's the same thing that, it's easy to speculate or talk about all these different things, but I feel like the relationship we have to our creator is what keeps us grounded. And as our creations get rooted, it's very important that we stay rooted in what's real, because otherwise we can lose ourselves. So
That's
I
the
feel like
key.
it's through
Yeah.
our creator that we maintain being found. That positive mindset says to us, don't worry about rushing. Don't worry about having to feed into the external and what this external world looks like. Plant your feet in the energy of the creator and understand that it's already been done for you. It's already provided for you. Things are going to work out for you. And having that solution oriented mindset is going to say, okay, this unexpected thing happened. That's no problem. Pivot, adapt. It's already been created. All I got to do is plug into it. So that mindset of, I just got to plug into it, is the make or break between somebody who falters and somebody who rises and meets the success that they want. And, Noe, you're not somebody that takes the world laying down. You take the world by storm by rising to meet it, whatever it looks like. So I just want to, circle all that together and then pay homage to your person and your resilience.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've definitely experienced some tough things in my life, and a lot of normal people probably wouldn't keep it going, as they say. But like I don't give up. I have a determination in me that is, it's very strong, and I do it for a reason, and definitely, I'm on my path of, with God has just definitely has helped, so
Hmm.
that's it's definitely something very powerful that you said. So thank you for that.
Who instilled the belief in you about God? Or did you feel when you were born growing up that that was part of your innate personality?
Oh no, no, not at all. Be honest with you, not at all. With youth, I got baptized and did everything very late age. Um, my youth wasn't too focused around God. My mother definitely eventually started very getting very focused with God, and very very in tune with God. And I've heard my mother go to church and speak tongue, like different languages that I'd never even heard before. I'm like, wow, I'm like, that's powerful. Like, and and she didn't even remember none of it, like, and that's how. And I'm like, is this like real? Like, you really don't remember any? It's just like, what are you talking about, son? Like, like. And she was like a whole different language, and I'm like, what's going on right now? That's how powerful it was. And then,
Wow.
I never really, took it that serious. I went through a lot of dark times in my life, and that's really when I really started seeking for God, and looking, and always never got responses, never really, but it was all for a reason, and then eventually
Yeah,
now, and I seen, like, he took his time with me, like, and and now, like, this past, like, year, like last year, the whole year, like, I really started going more closer and closer to my faith, because, like I said, I've always been a hard worker. I've always, had that trait about me. I've always tried to do the best I can to be right, but I've always had, certain flaws too that I did. Nobody was perfect. So, but definitely the past year has been like more of getting in tune with him and closer to him, and seeing, like, the peace and the harmony, and to love everybody no matter how wrong they do you, like, just, keep going, and still love everyone the best we can, because it's life, pretty much. Life is right now, this life that we're living in is too much evil going around, but you got to stick to your good ways, and keep to that.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Well, and I don't say this often. I've said this to Teresa because I am in awe of her abilities. Also, but you're incredible what you've been able to overcome and deal with. And every day I hear in my life people making excuses for negative behavior, being arrested, drugs and alcohol. And I look at people and I go, well, this is the path that you have chosen. There are two
exactly,
different directions that you can take, and you don't have to
exactly.
take the direction to be incarcerated. And a lot of people say, well, if you live my life, how would you be? And I didn't have an easy life, but I also realized that the mistakes that I made in the past, I paid for them, I
Yep.
corrected them, and I can talk about them on here. There are other things that I pick up in your chart that I'm not going to say on this podcast because they're private and I would not bring them up. But I do feel that you are a role model for not just minorities but for everybody. And I also wanted to say, for the first time of being on a podcast, we're going to give you your own show. You know that, don't you?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
I wanted to
Oh
see the reaction from you.
Peter
yeah.
is swift and decisive. When
Yeah.
he sees something he likes, he makes his move.
I mean, hey, if it comes down to it, I'm gonna do like I do everything I do, man. Just go with it, and try to perfect it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Well, I have just as we're coming to this close to wrap it up.
Yes.
What advice would you give to young business owners?
um, so what advice I give to young business owners? I would say, take your time with what you want to do and what you want to do. Make sure it's something you enjoy.
Yes.
And it something that makes you happy, and definitely take your time with. I made a choice of opening my LLC too soon, and paid for it. Like taking time with. People think that it's like, oh, you got to open your LLC right away, and like, no, you got to bring a brand. You got to build a brand. You got to, build something like, a company first. That's when you get into the really business side of it. Once you start seeing the income come in, or the actual, you know, positivity that you show into whatever market you're trying to do, or whatever change that you're doing, or you're seeing an impact growing, that's when you start thinking about that. But in the beginning, just have fun, enjoy what you're doing, and then focus about the business stuff after. I did the opposite. I focused on the business stuff, and then that's when I started doing a whole bunch of different things, and not enjoying it, but you know uh, now I'm enjoying what I do, but it took a while because I rushed into it too much. But don't rush, just take your time and enjoy it.
That's good advice.
Very good advice.
Okay, so important life advice that you'd give to our viewers. We
I
ask the
would
easy
say
questions around here, Noe.
important life advice. Same thing. I would say the same concept. Don't rush life. Don't rush life. Take time with life, and don't overthink. I used to be a very big overthinker. Because my brain never stopped working. Never stops to this day. Doesn't stop working. Like every I go to sleep sometimes, and I'm like million thoughts in my head. Like, what am I gonna do tomorrow? What am I gonna do this? Oh, I got this. I got to do tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to do this out. I'm gonna plan this out. Like, and it's like you're gonna eventually drive yourself crazy. So, that's what I said. My faith and God definitely gave me that peace, and that guy is that focus, like, just enjoy life, put him first, and, you know, just have, it's the only one life you got. So enjoy
Good
it,
advice.
so don't take it that serious. Don't stress. Don't, and it's gonna happen, but when it does, just call it a higher being. If you're not religious, then just call on yourself, because just your body's your temple too. Take care of yourself, take care of everything in your mind. So
That was very well said. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Um, do you see yourself creating a legacy? Because I know that you do have children, and I've seen the way that you interact with them. Do you pour the things that you've learned into them in their early life, or do you feel like let them be kids?
I try to implement certain things, yeah, definitely. But yeah, same. Just let them be kids, and try to keep them away from the screen as much as possible, because that thing is deadly. That those tablets, that screen,
Amen.
is a deadly thing. And I've seen children change, like, their whole attitude, their demeanor, like, I want them to focus on, just like how I grew up, going outside, and, going to neighbors, and like, let's go rest somebody, let's go to the park, like, let's, enjoy life, the real life, enjoy the sun, go outside, no shoes on the ground, like things like that, that are, I've been getting into a lot of, natural remedies for things, like, big pharma is, I think, a big scam to me too, so it's like, it's, things that, I'm trying to implement to them. But at the same time, yeah, like you said, I want to just let them be kids, like, because I don't want them to stress too much, worry about it too much, because eventually, they will get older, and they will see the one little bit of guidance that I've given them. Hopefully they remember it, and I'm just gonna keep giving them those little key little details, just so that as they get older, they remember, oh, I remember my dad said this, or I remember that he said that, but not push it on them. Don't force it, because you can't force something.
That's really smart too. My
Yes.
mom used to
Yeah.
have this poem that she would read a lot of the time of like, it's about the example that you set for the child by it's how you live your life. It's how you move. Because so many parents want to do as I say, not as I
Yes, I
do.
do.
And they believe that what they tell their child is going to impact them more than what their child sees them do. And we're kind of mirroring. We have that part of our brain that mirrors what we see, whether we like it or not.
Mhm.
And when we love ourselves, how we love ourselves and how we love them, that's the takeaway that they're going to have. So the way that you live your life, where you're creating this balance, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, the way that you carry yourself in relationships, that's going to be the thing that speaks the most volumes to them. And you even telling them, eat good food, go to sleep at a reasonable time, go stand outside, let's go camping, let's go in the sun, go be barefoot, talk to God. These are the things that, are going to, like, it doesn't matter what you plug into as an adult. These are foundational things that impact your life in a greater way. This is soul food. And that's, the fact that you live your life that way, that's what you're leaving in the people around you as you commune with them. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Took a while, don't get me wrong, because like I said before, there's a lot of evil that, is going around and, it's
Yes.
corrupted. Like music is corrupted, things like, like frequencies I hear in music. Like it's just, I was starting to believe. I used to be like, oh, that's like, come on, how are you gonna believe that? Like, I used to like brush it off and be like, there's no way that's even true. Like, but like, I'm fully believer now that it's definitely true. And it's scary too, and that's one thing that's like one of my worst fears is like my kids, being influenced to that and just, being, this lost soul, in the world that, I'm trying to lead them with God, and have them in that positive path because, it's a bad world right now, but hopefully all it takes is one person, and not gonna say it's me because you never know, but it's I hope that there are more people that come up and want to give out good into the world instead of the hate and bad things that is going on right now. So
Yeah. I mean, I think about it a lot. I feel like the earth is this beautiful place. Like, we got to see it when people were inside during lockdown. The tree grew, the water was beautiful, the sun is beautiful. Nature is a temple all to its own. The earth is a temple all to its own. And we
Yeah.
are made of source. So, like, you know, I don't think it's about people being one or the other, good or bad, right or wrong. You know, I think it's about the consciousness that we're plugged into, or utilizing self awareness, how we plug into our truth, how we plug into the spiritual, because our self awareness is what gives us the lens to see ourselves and to see others clearly. And when we can have that gift of clarity, we live better because of it. I think that's one of the most important things that my Buddha master taught me. The way you act, feel, speak, carry yourself is a reflection of you. What other people do is a reflection of them. You
Yeah.
can't save them, you can't control them. So you have to let them do what they do while you do what you do. And it's not about taking a high road or a low road. It's about what works. And that's what Nancy and I talk about all the time. If you don't want to be in suffering, what do you need to do to not be in suffering? And as I started out this podcast with you guys, it's, what world do you want to live in? And then what are you doing to make that world
To
possible?
create
It's
it.
not a dream, it's not make believe. All the fixings are there. And that's why I mentioned that podcast of, it's already done. Because Nancy and I, Peter and I speak constantly about, a light worker brings in the light. A light worker stands in the light. A light worker has confidence and trust in knowing in the light. They're not going to give away their power to the falseness. To me, the dark doesn't exist. Even if it's out there, it's falling away because the light is shining so bright. I have people all the time ask me, what crystals are good for protection? The one that makes you feel the happiest, the one that makes you feel the best. Because
Mhm.
when we vibrate at a high frequency, we are vibrating above and beyond all things that may not have the best intentions for us. And as things right now are at the height of their polarity back and forth, the gift that we can give to ourselves is maintaining, being planted in being planted in our truth, being planted in our foundation. You won't get swept up in the polarity of things, or the 3D, the 5D, the here, the there, and getting all messed up in what's going on externally, if you are firmly planted in the ground. And that,
Correct.
you know,
Understand? I
Correct.
still have yours. your thing. Oh
Hey!
yeah, so still got your stuff.
Me too, bro. We match.
Yeah, exactly. No, I
That's
love
beautiful.
and I love it too. I still wear it every day, and I love how it does make me feel. It definitely gives me that great confidence, like like we talked about when we met, So
Yep. That's
definitely.
beautiful. That's great. Well, I look forward to sharing February 7th with you. Noe will be there at Feast for the Soul in Lake Grove. Over at Soho in Suffolk is the venue. The event goes from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And the whole concept of it is to celebrate the spirit of creation. We have
Mhm.
artists, what I told to the people, friends, people that I've been working with to put this event together. If I took you and put you anywhere in the world where they did not speak the same language as you, and I dropped you there, how are you going to commune with people? Your food, love, energy, dance, music, color. These are the languages of the soul. We always speak more non-verbally than we do verbally. So when, it was creating the ideas for this event, it was what satisfies you in a world full of empty calories. What is really giving you that inner nourishment? How can we connect to ourselves and then share that connection to ourselves with each other or other like-minded people? So the idea is that you're making a connection to the things that are real, the things that have substance, the things that inspire you. Paint, that's why we have live artists coming in and painting their interpretation of soul fulfillment. And we have Level Up Kitchen, which is all healthy food coming in, and they're doing a food as art presentation for the first 2 hours of the event, showing the artistic side of food, but also that healthy food can taste good and you could have a good time with what you're eating. And I got to go to a networking event the other night where Level Up just happened to be there, and she made all these awesome things: butternut squash soup and chicken salad that had like pistachios and some citrus flavor in it. And the way she paired it with arugula, like she was so purposeful in that every
Nice.
flavor of every ingredient paired itself together to create this higher flavor that by the time you ate it all together, you were having a total different experience with the food. So we have food, we have live art, we have music and ecstatic dance and musical performers from local artists. We're supporting local vendors who handcraft all their own goods. We're supporting the young people by going to all these different events and bringing in local talent from places. And then we're connecting with small businesses, by working with vendors, because people sometimes think vendors are, I don't even know, like they don't qualify as a small business. They're here with a gimmick or something. But a vendor itself is a small business that just hasn't graduated into a brick and mortar, or they're trying their online presence. There's somebody chasing their dream, or somebody that has a vision about something that they create to put out into the world. And they try. I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort to handcraft something, to put it out into the world, to vend at all these different shows, to get there early, to create this space, this sacred space, or this fun place for you to come to take part in what they've orchestrated for you. These people are, for the most part, very creative and live from their heart and are very community focused people. And that's what makes being a part of the vendor community so great, in my opinion. So I'm super excited to share this evening with you, Noe, and the people who decide to take part in it. So if you're interested in purchasing a ticket, you can, reach out to us on Instagram at Z3NShine, or you can call the phone number for the business at 631-759-1965. And Noe, if people are interested in what you have to offer, how can they contact you or see what you've got going on?
You could definitely go on my website. That's to show you a little bit of other services we offer. Is olaomniservice.com, not plural. Or you could contact me directly at 631-530-4128. And yeah, and we also have Facebook, Ola Omni Management. We're on social media. So either way, whatever way you guys prefer to contact us, we're here.
Okay. And Peter, if I want a reading and an astrology chart, how am I contacting you, Lovey?
You've got to call Mars. Um,
I thought it was Jupiter. We always keep
Jupiter. Last
changing.
week it was Jupiter. Now it's Mars.
You know, you keep me on my toes.
Yes, my email address is peter_mrks@yahoo.com. My number on Earth is 203-206-9353. And my number on Mars 00000.
Well,
like
now
it.
you know. Now you all know how to connect us with any kind of questions that
Yes.
you might have for anything that any of us are providing. We look forward to seeing you February 7th. Thank you so much for your time sharing Vendor Corner with us tonight. And we'll see you next week for episode 3.
And
Thank
you,
you.
Noe, for coming
Thank you.
on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Noe,
Thank you
for
guys
coming
for
on.
having me. Thank you.
Thank
It was a
you.
privilege. Thank you. All right, guys.